Hello and welcome to the Restoration Shack. If you've not joined me before, my name is Mark, and I kind of restore old lowrider bikes and work on my own vehicles. So this is quite an exciting video I'm doing. It's a winter project. Apologies for the diesel heater in the background, might be making a noise, but I've been looking forward to getting one of these vehicles for years. I've had a lot of classics, a lot of air cooled, a lot of petrol. I've got the old Mercedes and such like that, but this one is going to be quite exciting. So I'm not going to reveal it just yet, but hopefully you guys might be able to put some comments in below to see, even from the shape, you might know what it is. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to try and start it up. I don't have any reasons why it wouldn't start. The guy I bought it from, who was running it, it's been sat in my garage a couple of weeks, so I've got a battery which I'm going to throw on, and what we'll do is we'll work in here in the back end, which will probably give you guys a lot more heads up as to what the vehicle is. So I'll just get the bonnet open, or the boot open, bonnet, engine lid, whichever you want to call it. And even by the fact that I'm working in the back, you guys have got to know what this is, but then it's kind of guess the year. So without further ado, let's get this bonnet up and let's have a look at this engine. So before I get the battery connected up, I'm just going to do a few simple tests or checks. You may notice that it's all encased with bits of cloth and card. That's not normal, but I'm trying to do a bit of a reveal because it's a little bit unique, this vehicle. Some of you may have seen it on other social media, so yeah, the paint is something to behold in its own right, so I'm just trying to ease you into that. So first of all, do an oil check, make sure we've got some in. Yeah, about 3 quarts. Check. We've had a bit of snow here as well, so it's quite cold. So I've had plenty of oil in. Needs changing, but it's not too bad. I smell a bit of petrol in it, but not a great deal. Points. Well, I think we'll just give it a kind of a whirl around. It's free, as I know, because the guy who was running it, it did say it had a fueling issue, so we might need to just clean the points and stuff like that, and maybe check the carb through, clean the plugs. But I think basically it's kind of, if it was unknown, if it had been stood for 10-15 years or whatever, I'd have probably gone a bit further. But like I say, I know he was driving it up till about 2 months ago, and then he parked it up, so we're not really going to be, I don't expect any big surprises. So what I'll do is I'll throw the battery on, and then we'll give it a crank and see what happens. Okay, you guys ready? There she goes. Seems to run fine. Gassing up a little bit, but they expected it's not been run for a while. Like I say, probably could do with a good service, oil change, and some plugs. But what I'll do is I'll knock it off so I can talk and not have to shout. Bear with me. Better, a little bit quieter. So I don't know if you could hear me over all the shouting there over the engine, but yeah, it's running a little bit rich, but that's to be expected. The choke's on, and it's not been, I've not done any real service work on it, but I'm quite happy there. A couple of pumps on the accelerator, engaging the choke and popping a bit of fuel through, and she fired up. So nothing unexpected there. So I think what we'll do is we'll I think we'll take it out actually. We'll wheel it out and then we can do like a big reveal. So I think I'll get it set up outside and let's bring this out for you. Before we go out, I suppose actually you will have guessed what it is. A rear-engined air-cooled flat 4 engine. It's only going to be one thing into it, a Beetle. So what I might do is, can you guys from what you've seen, the deck lid, and this is a 1200cc. It'd be good to get something going in the comments. Just what kind of year do you think it is? Is it 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? Mexican Beetle or Brazil Beetle? But yeah, put some comments in. I always like to read comments, good or bad, constructive or not. It's always fun. So yeah, I think it's forecast that, like I said, it's early. It's snowing at the moment, so taking it out right now is not probably going to be an issue. So going to be an option. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave it a little while, and then I'll bring you back. It'll be in the same video, but I'll bring you back once we've got a bit of better weather outside, because I want to drive it out and test that sort of side. So yeah, but bring you back. For you, it'll be probably a few seconds. For me, it might be a day or so, but we'll pop back. So it's a bit first drive ever. Louise is in there, just going to bring it out. We're going to give it a bit of a wash. See how we get on. Runs well. Might be just revving a bit high, running a bit high, so we might just turn that down. So this is the big project I was on about before. A little bit different to the lowrider bikes and other restos I do, but I've always been into air cooled. Had an old split screen camper van for about 14 years. Sold that a couple of years ago, missed it. Miss it as in just having some air cooled. So along with the Mercedes SLK, which you've seen me do some work, this is the new project for the winter. It's a little bit of a one-off on the paint, as you'll see. I think somebody likened it to Marmite, which is like a drink over here. You either love it or hate it. I love it. Don't know if I'll be able to keep the paint like this, because I've got to be able to drive this, and you know it's very in your face. But it's a 1954 Beetle oval. It runs, which I'll start it up in a minute. I've been after this sort of, you know, the oval window for years. It's complete. Does need a lot of work. Obviously paint if we go that route. It's got original Porsche gas burner wheels on. This is what I class as a money shot. I've had to just put that over there because there's a sticker on the bumper, which I love, but yeah, I'd get thrown off YouTube if you saw that, so you might see that in later videos. So I'm just going to get rid of some of this gunk. Don't know how many years it's been sat outside, but loads of green gunk growing on it. So I'll give it a quick wash and I'll bring you back after. Should make it look a lot better. Once we've done that, yeah, we've got some really nice green funk growing on there. So let's crack on. So we're halfway through. It's pretty flat, the paint. It's coming up in areas, but it's pretty flat. So I'm trying to give you a bit of a before or an after even. So back in because it's going dark now. But I did realise that I'd not shown you inside in the side. So obviously you've worked out what it is. You've seen the colour, love it or hate it. Inside, it's got a Porsche tombstone seats. I think they're out of a 944 or 924, something like that. Dash, it's right on drive. I've got like a speaker grill there, ashtray, speedometer, etc. I took the carpets out when I first got it because they were wet through, because the window on this passenger side doesn't work. All the floor carpets and everything was wet through, and the underlay as well. I've also taken this door card off just to have a look inside to see what the window winder, and I think it's actually this channel. That would be helpful if anybody can assist on this. This channel doesn't look right for the winder. I can't get how this sits. I think this has got, it's either got the wrong window or the wrong channel, or I'm just looking at it wrong, because this somehow should sit on that wheel, I think, or there should be some sort of piece under here. But if anybody can advise me what I've got here, really would be a big help, that. But the door overall is in good condition. I've cleaned the channel out, which you can't quite see. You might be able to just see down here in the channel, but it's not rusted out, it's quite solid. The floors are pretty good. There's some surface rust where the carpets have been. There's some bad previous repairs which I'm going to have a look at, but it's solid. It's been welded, but it's got plates on, but they are it's pretty solid overall. The sills, etc. The floor pan over there looks a little bit crusty, but it is, I think it's just surface rust with the water being sat on it. It's like a really weird sort of like coating on it. It looks like old paint or something that chipped off. So on this side I've started taking it off, and on that side I've not touched it yet, but I just took a little wire brush to it to see how it come off. It seems to have come up okay. Yeah, overall a bit of surface water rust, but it's nothing serious. I'll just take it in the back. I've got a build sheet for the 1200cc engine that's in it. There's some receipts in there to say what was done, and stuff like that. So yeah, the engine that's in's been rebuilt, well, some time ago, but it has been rebuilt. There's no headliner, but let's get this seat forward. And in the back, I just threw a big battery in just to crank it over. I've got the seat base. That I just took that out of the car to make a bit more room. The panel there. I took once again the carpet, took that out the back, just based on. And you can just see at the bottom of the shot there, there's a little pinhole. Let's see if I can point to it. Just there, there's a little pinhole, and water's been coming in, and all this back, all the carpet in the back was also rotten out, wet and rotten out. Seat's not bolted in. It's got some sort of weird and wacky brake light up there. Snow started again. But yeah, we've got pop outs. This side's here, but the other side is missing, so I'm going to have to get one of those. That's quite handy up there. Might give you a close to what year it is if you can see that. But yeah, overall, bit of a mess in there, but I've got a lot of the parts that have come through. I'll just put that seat back because that's not bolted in. But yeah, that's the interior. I'll just go to the outside for you. So, you saw earlier we were washing it, dried it off. There's a few scabs. The worst part is, which I don't know if you can see in this light, you can probably see just here, well, you can definitely see that, but we've got all these, so the lights, these strip lights are starting to give some bad reflection, but it's got a lot of water blisters. Paint is everywhere. It's got all these little blisters, and if you push them they actually pop. You might have just heard that, and you get water out of them. So it's basically gonna, as much as this painters love it or hate it, and it's very individual to save it or stop it rusting, I'm probably going to have to strip it back and repaint it all like there. So that's just, I've just done that one, and you just see now there's all water coming out of it. So I can get this one. Yeah, so it's not going to be good leaving them like that, because we'll end up with just, it'll end up rotting away under it. But yeah, that one there as well, you see just all the water in it. And it was like that before we washed it as well, so it's not like we've just done it from washing it. But as they dry, they end up, the paint ends up coming off in little pot marks like that, all down it. So it's going to have to come off. It's going to have to strip it back and repaint. But that's, I'd anticipated that. But I expected that I was going to have to do a fair bit of work on it. But for what I got it for, I'm fine with that. And as I say, red, white, blue, fantastic paint job. But as a daily driver, or as a, you know, something you want to take out, I like being noticed, but I don't like being noticed that much. So I've got a colour scheme in mind. We've got the original sort of heart rear lights. Got the original Hella front lights as well. So I think that's about, because it's turning cool again now, I think that's about as much. And I think I'd mentioned it's got Porsche gas burner wheels on at the moment. They're growing on me, but they're not what I want overall. It looks like it's also been lowered a little bit as well. But I'm going to check that all out, see what if it's got drop spindles on, and see what's been done on the back with the spring plates. But yeah, that's it. That's the big reveal done. Just keep posted as we bring more videos. Just following over tools. Bring more videos over the next couple of months. It's going to be quite exciting. I'm really glad to have this in, and really excited to get started on it. I've already had parts arrive for it. So yeah, thanks for being with me. I hope you've enjoyed this reveal. I hope you subscribe to see the progress as I work my way through it. Some of the jobs will be sitting inside and kind of scraping rust out, but then there'll be some kind of decent bodywork jobs as well as we go through it. But yeah, once again, thanks for being with me on this video. Hopefully see you again shortly. Bye now.